Hello, it's Dr. Russ. We're going to do a full spinal stabilization series together. It's going to take us about 8 minutes, and we're going to do it without any special equipment at all. So let's get started. Lie on your back. The floor or a mat is great. If it's on the bed will be too soft. So really a mat on the floor or a carpeted floor is best. Feet are flat, about hip width apart. Knees are up. We're not letting them fall out, and we're not letting them knock in against each other. If you want a little extra challenge, grab a ball, a yoga block, or a rolled up fluffy towel and hold it between your knees for the part of this that is laying on your back. Hands down. I'm going to move mine so you can see my lower back. In neutral, my lower back is slightly lifted off the floor. Step one is to imprint our lower back into the mat and release. Imprint, gently pushing the lower spine into the floor and relax. So as I do this, my sacrum is actually scooping a little bit. It's almost like someone is pulling my tailbone down toward my feet, causing my sacrum to rock. The next step, once we're here, is to rock that pelvis and then lift the sacrum up off the floor. So I'm bridging now, and I'm going to release down from the top to the bottom. Come back, rock the sacrum back to neutral, and then imprint and lift. Bring it down. Neutral, imprint, lift. If you can, hold your butt and pelvis up in the air while your upper part of your lower back reaches the floor, and roll down one vertebra at a time, if you can. Feels great. It's a nice deep stretch in the lower back. Lift, down. Make it a little more challenging. Float your arms. Now you can't use your arms to stabilize your upper body. There's a little bit more core work here. One more time. Set it down. Good. Palms down on the floor. We're going to brace our body a little bit because we're going to come through the imprint, lift. Now I'm going to push down through my left heel and lift my right leg. Set it down. Shift your weight into the right heel, push through the right heel, lift to the left leg. And we're just going to march back and forth, keeping the bridge. One more time each side. Make sure your pelvis stays level as you do this. Don't let your hips drop. Keep that bridge up in the air, and then slowly, one vertebra at a time, roll down through the imprint to neutral. The next thing we're going to do is a little bit harder. If this is causing you pain, don't do it. We're going to actually lift the pelvis with one leg. So in the previous one, we were bridged and we lifted a leg from the bridged position. Now we're going to get ourselves into a bridge position on one leg. I'm going to lift my right. I'm going to plant through that left heel. I'm going to imprint my lower back, scoop it up, set it down. I really want to make sure that my right hip doesn't sink and lag. I want my pelvis to stay level. And that's going to take a little work from my right lower core. Does it have to be perfect? Absolutely not. Imprint, lift. Let's do two more. Imprint, lift, lower. So you feel this mostly in your left glute and hamstring, and a little bit in the right lower abdominals. Bring it down. Take your time. Plant through that right heel. Lift the right leg. Imprint. Scoop. I can feel that my right hip is a lot stronger than my left, partially because I'm right-handed, and partially because of an old injury that I had to my left sciatic nerve. Good. Making sure that pelvis is nice and level. And one more time. Bringing it down through the imprint to neutral. Next step, we're going to dead bug. That's lifting the opposite arm and leg at the same time. Easy. Compared to what we just did, this is easy. The challenges are try and get your hand and foot to come back to the floor at the same time. And the other challenge is to keep that spine and torso nice and stable, not sloppy. So what we don't want it to look like is this. My spine is kind of curving side to side. My head's all floppy. That's a great exercise for other things. What we're trying to do here is maintain a stable core, because remember, this is a spinal stabilization series. So there's a little bit of action in my core. My abdominals are a little bit engaged. Let's do one more each side. Easy dead bug. So let's come into a quadruped position, and we want to make sure our back is not arched or curled, kind of right in the middle. Again, neutral spine is the key. Hands and knees, knees just below the hips, hands just below the shoulders. First thing is to maintain that neutral spine as you extend one leg and then the other. We're just sliding the toe, sliding the toe. And we want to make sure that whichever leg is sliding, we don't collapse the hip like this. We want to make sure that we keep that hip up. That's going to take a little work from the lower back on the same side. So here my left lower back is working. Here my right lower back is working. If I let go with my left lower back, I just get this. And we're trying to keep the lower body, the pelvis, and the core stable while we slide. Now on the next slide, lift, lower. On the left side, slide, lift, lower. This is not a big lift, it's just a little lift. We're just warming up to the next movement. Right side, slide, lift, lower. Slide, lift, lower. Take a moment now to make sure that you didn't lose your neutral pelvis and sag into an arch, or that you're not overusing your abdominals to pull yourself into a curl, staying nice and neutral. From here, instead of a slide and lift, it's just straight lift. Keeping the pelvis as level and stable as possible. If you have a mirror for some feedback, that's great. Notice that I'm not reaching for the ceiling, I'm reaching for the wall behind me. Reach for the wall behind you. One more time each side. Using those abdominal muscles to keep your pelvis from sagging. If you need a break, you can always break into a little child's pose. You can come on up, give your wrists a little bit of a break as well. The next part is the full expression of the quadruped spinal stabilization. And we get ourselves into this position, and we're going to do opposite arm and leg. So I'm going to lift my left leg, lift your left leg and your right arm, hold, down. Now your right leg and your left arm. Your leg reaches for the wall behind you, your arm reaches for the wall in front of you. Your torso stays level, your pelvis doesn't sag one way or the other, and you don't collapse into an arch. So I'll show you what these look like. Here I'm collapsing into an arch. My low back arches because I'm not holding up the weight of my torso. That hurts my lower back just to do two. So keep that neutral spine. What does it look like if my hip sags? So on the leg that I lift, if I don't use my lower back to hold my hip up, it drops like this. If I had a cup of coffee on my lower back, it would spill. And who does want to spill coffee on their lower back? Not us. That's why we're doing this exercise. Okay, we got into our core, we engaged our transverse abdominals, all of our obliques, our quadratus lumborum, our psoas, and importantly, our glutes and hamstrings. You should probably feel a little lighter and a little more engaged through your middle core at this point. Thank you for doing the exercise, and I appreciate you watching. I hope it helps.